Alright, so we're trying out the Sierra Nevada Narwhal Imperial Stout. This is, I believe, yeah, it's a 10.2%.
Serious.
Yeah. The Empire Strikes Back. Alright. Let's see. Ooh, wow, that's pouring. Like, even from the glass, it's like dark. And it feels heavy.
Nice waterfall.
Yeah.
Cascade in the head.
Yeah.
So I know Sierra Nevada is California, right? Chico, California, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, now there's, I guess it's split between
Yeah.
California and North Carolina.
Right, yeah.
But it originated in California.
It's got a very good smell so far. It's still early, but like a light coffee, chocolatey smell. It's very, very opaque.
Yeah.
Well, you know something about English. So, like, can you have something that's very opaque, or is it just opaque? It's just opaque, right?
Is it an absolute adjective? I would probably use it like without the very.
Right.
I don't know if it's a rule like like unique or pregnant or something like that, but. But then there's like if you like photo editing or whatever, they talk about opacity, so
right.
like which is gradations of opaqueness. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can use pregnancy and.
I'm very pregnant.
Yeah,
sort of, kind of pregnant. Yeah.
The narwhal, probably another extinct species before long if it's not already.
Man, yeah, I don't know if it is X16 or not. Let's see what the back says. Inspired by the mysterious creature that dwells in the deepest Arctic seas, Narwhal Imperial Stout is midnight black, bold with notes of baker's cocoa and dark roasted coffee.
Okay.
This massive Imperial Stout is incredibly complex and explores the darkest depths of malt flavor.
Even further from the glass, it's got like a nice malty, light malty smell. What's your first impression?
It's really smooth for 10+% alcohol. Or at least maybe I just took a small sip, but it doesn't hit you with like a burn or astringency.
Right. It's extremely like thick, like very viscous.
Yep.
I'm getting like a more pronounced like dark chocolate, almost bitter dark chocolate taste. Yeah. So you teach a few classes?
Yeah, I teach primarily in the education department.
Okay.
When I was a grad student, I taught in the English department, and I've been asked to teach in the English department on occasion also. So.
Yeah. Okay. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not my primary role. I do it because I enjoy working with undergrads.
Yeah.
My primary job is working as a director for an educational endowment. So a lot of programming and managing, designing different projects out in the schools.
Nice. Yeah. When you say out in schools, like
So I work in curriculum and instruction, primarily with secondary ed, so middle schools, junior high, and high school.
Nice. Okay.
So I work a lot with pre-service teachers and current in-service teachers, and a little bit with high school students and middle school students. And
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, pretty eclectic job, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Get to do something different every week.
Yeah.
Working with different groups, different populations. So
Yeah. What's probably your best or your favorite activities, or
work-wise or non-work-wise?
Work-wise, yeah.
So I help establish and continue to direct a teacher fellowship program called the Art Teacher Fellowship, AR Teacher. So it's kind of like a conglomeration of art and Arkansas and teacher.
Yeah.
And I work with a whole array of teachers from language arts, science, social studies, and foreign language. And as a group, we do a year-long study of how to bring in different art forms into their classroom. So how to use music or photography or dance to teach history or to teach science.
Cool.
So yeah, it's been really fulfilling. The teachers I get to work with are super creative and committed, and really interested in developing and strengthening their practice and expanding what they're able to do within their classroom. So it's probably one of my favorite programs in my job right now.
Yeah. And you're from California?
Mm-hmm. I was raised in California. Born in Oklahoma, but lived most of my youth in California, and then I've lived all over the place as an adult.
Yeah. Okay. Were you exposed to that like in high school?
Some. I had some cool teachers who really believed in sort of an expanded idea of learning, and using different modalities and bringing in the world of art, which naturally touches on language skills and naturally touches on science and math and things like that. But really how I got into it, I minored in education in undergrad, and after I got out of school, I did an arts-based, or I worked for an arts-based service learning program in Colorado. So we did a lot of work with students using art as the medium to address social issues that were important to them. So yeah, that's how I kind of got interested in using art in education.
Nice. Craft beer making, that's an art, right?
For sure. Well, it's a craft, but there's no real clear delineation between what makes an art and what makes a craft.
Right.
So. Actually, one of my favorite historical groups, the Bauhaus from Germany, they were very big on the idea that we shouldn't have this arbitrary distinction between the fine arts and crafts like furniture building or things like that. And so they took an artistic view of furniture and carpentry, but they also took a very craftsman view to the fine arts. And that's been really influential to me to kind of think about that and really say like anything that's done with great care and creativity can be an art, but it takes lots of skill and craftsmanship too. So
that makes sense.
Any other thoughts coming through for the Imperial Stout?
I got a burst of like intense sweetness the last swig. I don't know if that was just a pocket of grain that just I don't know,
just hit your tongue in a different way.
Yeah, but it is like full bodied to me, and like man, it's almost
stick a spoon in it and stand up.
Yeah, I think it's almost too thick, but still, it's I don't know. Kind of at a loss for words. I haven't really had anything like sort of this thick as far as mouthfeel. I had a lot of dark beers, but man, this one's different.
The head's dissipated pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of bitterness, still getting a full mouthful of hops, or of malt whenever I take a swallow, but I'm getting a little bit of like a slight floral exhale. It's like it's not completely sweet. It's on the verge of being sweet.
Yeah, when I was smelling it before I sipped it, I almost sensed or picked up what I would kind of associate with like fruitiness, but it's not really like fruit, like
right.
But just more of kind of like a tartness, I guess, to the nose. So I can see kind of that in there somewhere, that there's a little astringency, a little tartness. Even though it's thick and heavy, I wouldn't feel like it's feels pretty balanced for what it is, and it just got turned off.
So let's see, Black Hole's good. The Wire, respect a man that likes The Wire.
I just, on a whim, actually just watched season 2 all the way through. For some reason, a lot of people dislike season 2, and I really like it, so I don't know.
That's when I was just really getting hooked, you know, like season 2, it's like, oh yeah, that's getting good. What's his name? Heartless Anthony or whatever, or No Heart. Wow, I can't remember the character's name.
I think I know what you're talking about, but that wasn't in season 2. Like,
well, was that like maybe later on? No Heart Anthony, I think is his name.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Let's see. What do you recommend out of here?
Well, what do you like to read?
Sort of like humorous epics, like, you know, like I really, my favorite book of all time is, of course, you know, Don Quixote. I like
humorous epics. Wow. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's a lot of those that come to mind.
Yeah. Don Quixote, Gargantua and Pantagruel. You know, your Monkey Wrench Gang.
Well,
yes.
Since you pointed out Black Hole, there, humorous in a different way, or just very kind of humane, I guess. Are you a fan of Love and Rockets? Are you familiar?
Familiar with that.
So Love and Rockets is a comic series, graphic novel series that of the Hernandez brothers, and they've been doing this comic for 30 plus years, starting in the 80s, I think, and you know, so volumes upon volumes, and it's just really interesting just to see the evolution of it. They have a really wide array of characters, but then there's like a core of folks that they keep returning to, and some of them they kind of let age in real life, so that when, like, you know, one of their like key characters is this girl named Maggie the mechanic, and you know, when the series started, she's a teenager, kind of like in the punk rock scene in Southern California, and you know, decades later, she's now middle aged and kind of going through, you know, the trials and tribulations that a middle aged woman goes through, you know, and I wouldn't say it's like funny or like, you know, acerbic in like a Don Quixote way, but like, you know, there's definitely almost every issue something that will make you smile, and just kind of like, you know, but then like it's just a really varied comic too. Like they have these different like sci-fi worlds that they kind of drop into every now and then, and you know, there's like a small town in Mexico that they set some of their stories in. So it's a really eclectic mix, and like it's one of those things that like the impact kind of builds on you over time, and like getting to know the characters or just getting to know the sensibilities of the two writers. Who they don't write together. They kind of like alternate like issues.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're into graphic novels,
Love and Rockets.
Love and Rockets.
Love and Rockets.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What else is around here that would be kind of like that? I don't know.
I still haven't read Persepolis, but I hear it's good.
Solid, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Humor-wise, I don't know. The current go-to person in the U.S. is probably George Saunders. I don't know if you've read any of his stuff.
I haven't.
It's not very epic though. He kind of made his name with short stories and just came out with this past year with his first novel. But really sharp wit, really emotionally affecting. Kind of in a similar vein, Edgar Carrot is an Israeli writer.
Okay.
It's kind of like, I don't know, I see similarities between him and Saunders. I don't know. So I can give you more recommendations on the humorous side.
Yeah.
The epic side is a little tougher. Especially humorous epic. That's a rare combination, at least in my
I know,
experience.
man. There's not much to pick from. What's the verdict on this? Narwhal. Solid. Hard like the narwhal's tusk. Or, is it a tusk or a horn or?
I guess they would call it a tusk. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like it. It's enjoyable in moderation. I like a lot of things I can't do. I just can't do 3 or 4 of them. Like a good Coors Light. No, it's got a lot of complexity. The maltiness of it is unique. That I was kind of surprised at how different from other what is this, like stouts generally are nice, dark and strong, but this one was even more so than others I've had.
See, I don't know. I think recognizing that it's an imperial stout and strong, it still seems pretty easy drinking to me. Like it's not one that I have to screw up my face when I drink it, or I don't feel like it's putting hair on my chest as I drink it, kind of thing. So it's obviously it's going to be stronger than a pilsner or whatever, but it doesn't like slap me in the face.
Right. It doesn't taste like a 10.2, like some things that
well tempered.
Yeah. It's hidden in the deep, deep dark.
Humorous epics. I was thinking, if you like kind of narrative poetry, there's Don Juan, which is like an epic poem about the kind of adventures of this guy Don Juan. Most people read it as Don Juan, but if you read the poems, you can tell by the way that they choose to rhyme that it's Don Juan. But it's kind of it's funny. It's kind of saucy. Not really my cup of tea, but it's there.
I'll find it. Yeah, I'll seek it out.
This is gonna make me feel like uneducated. I'm relatively sure it's Lord Byron who wrote it.
Yeah.
But yeah, edit that part if it's not Lord Byron.
God. It's gonna make it into the gag reel.
Yeah.
I should do.
I had to read portions of it, but it's like
Yeah.
I forget. It's like I don't know, like 1,000 stanza poem or something like
Okay.
that. Like,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah. What if I memorized it by the next time? No, I'm kidding.
I would be impressed.
No, not even
I'd
close.
be very impressed.
Uh,
I don't know. What have you been reading?
I have not been reading, which is, you know, don't hit me, don't hurt me. No, it's I've been slacking, like, and that's actually one of my, you know, like New Year's resolutions, isn't that? But I have been meaning to like take away some activity so that I'll have more time to read, and because I enjoy it, and I'm like out of sync with my reading. So I've been wanting to read more World War II history books, especially on the Pacific, just because I board game, and I'm kind of interested in more Pacific theater board games. So yeah, that's what I've been meaning to do, and besides like stuff for work. But as far as something like a fun read, I've been reading some poetry just to, you know, to memorize it and just to get more varied, you know, look at what poetry could be. So yeah.
It's not the Pacific, but did you see Dunkirk when it came out?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
That the first time I saw it, I was a little bit confused, but the second time I was into it, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Chris Nolan, he does a good job, great job. I did see the DVD director's cut. It was like it added 2 hours to it.
Wow. Wait, it added? So it was like however long it added?
I'm sure it was, you know, like mostly like behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say, sorry, like maybe not added to it.
Are you saying like director's commentary or like a director's cut with like new scenes and stuff like that?
I think it was director's cut, 2 hours worth of bonus material.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sure.
A little bit more.
We're saying like a 2-hour movie into a 4-hour movie seems a little much.
Yeah.
But,
you know, I thought though, like, it was too short for my taste. Like for such an epic event, you know, like
multi-threaded. And,
yeah, it could have withstood another 30 minutes to 45. Like I would have been much more satisfied with it. It was good, but too short. I liked how the time like element kind of played into that movie. You know, like the ticking clock, the constant ticking, just like seeping into your mind and making you aware. You know, they're in a time crunch. But I'm assuming you saw it.
I did. Yeah, I thought it was really good. It's very much in the Christopher Nolan vein. Like,
right.
He's great at executing concepts and not so great at like developing characters, and that's not his interest. So if you know that going in, or you're willing to deal with that, then it is, you know, it's a great stimulating ride and well executed.
I didn't understand the airplane, like the plane in the end. It stayed up in the air with no, you know, thrust for like what seemed like 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure it would have dropped like a rock, you know. I mean, not so much, but like it would have sunk.
There's gonna be some gliding going on, but I can't pretend to know what the time frame is.
Yeah,
you know?
It just seemed a little too long, you know. For then again, I'm not a pilot, you know, so.